Yes, there we go again.
Hello.
Hello, Marleen.
And
Welcome in the Happiness at Work coffee
thank
break.
you. Thank
It's
you.
uh, it's number 4, and then maybe you have to yeah to tell a little bit how we met. It was on a reception. Remember?
That's already about 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't think 5 years, but I remember we met
I
on.
don't count the years anymore. I'm
Yeah,
ageless, so years is I left that behind.
yeah. So and then you started talking about yeah um, fashion psychology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and
My lifelong project. You can say at least that it is a lifelong project. So I've been busy all my life with the importance of and the influence of beauty and connection, how you can match that in an optimal way. That's like a red thread through my life. And one moment I got into fashion psychology after a long life path already. And well, that made for me the extract of all the things I have studied and experienced, because in fact I'm a kind of life expert for sure. So then I came to create my own approach. And in fact, the meaning, the purpose of that approach is to make people more happy in their own skin and with their own clothes. So in fact, it's like being yourself, feeling flow, and looking radiant. So it's not only the look and feel, but the be, look and feel. That's
yeah,
the purpose.
yeah. Now people might already understand why you are in our show, in our podcast, in our webinar,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
because
but yeah.
it seems like it's all about personal happiness. So can you explain?
Well-being, yeah. The
Can
well-being, in fact, the gym. Yeah.
can you explain a little bit like what is fashion psychology?
Well, fashion psychology is the study of the impact of clothes on the way we act, our brain, we think, we act, and we feel. So it has to do with behavior, with brain, and with feeling, with emotions. Those
Mhm.
three. And in fact, it's about the question, why do we wear what we wear? Uh, and fashion psychology tries to get an answer coming from different corners. Then I studied fashion psychology, but I came quite soon to the conclusion that I also wanted to integrate the Eastern psychologies into my concept, because I think there's an important evolution in even in the Western psychologies, how we think about the integration of body and mind, which was not always taken into account into Western psychology. So my concept, in fact, is the integration of both. And when we look at the Eastern side of the approach, then you see, then I took the Feng Shui, the Yin Yang theory, the Vedic school, which all together say that we are energetic beings. We have just the flow of our body and mind, and we have to try to get it into a balance. And in the West, I took lots of experience out of the theory of the embodied cognition. And maybe this is quite a known test they did in the 80s. Some two American psychologists, Adam and Galinsky. But it's a test that's already known for some people, so but I will recall it shortly, it's about two test groups, and they get to wear a white coat. And to one of the test groups, they tell that it is a lab coat. The other group is told that it is a painter's coat. Now, those groups get the same cognitive tests to perform. And what is the result? That the group who's wearing the white lab coat, the doctor's coat, is performing much better than the group who's wearing the painter's coat.
Okay.
And there is even a more interesting detail, is that when they don't wear the coat, it has not the same result. So, which means that we have a sensorial aspect to the brain, what the brain is taking into account, and we have this symbolic thing. So it's a doctor's coat, it's a lab coat, we perform better. So that's in fact a very important test, what was done in the 80s, and which really proves that what we wear, so we have our body and our senses, we learn with our senses. That's what embodied cognition tells us. We learn with our senses. For instance, language, we learn much better by writing and speaking than just by reading. See? Maybe some people know that when we smile, when you get a smile on your face, you feel that you get much more optimistic. Try that.
Yeah, that's like.
So that's all about embodied cognition. Where was I? So that embodied cognition takes into account the sensorial and the symbolic meaning. So when we put some clothes on our body, on our sensorial body, our brain takes that also into account. So our brain feels, in fact, what we wear, feels the energy of what we wear, and that means that we can do something with that. And that's what my approach is about. So shall I explain how it works?
Yeah, sure, go on.
Otherwise, you just give me some questions and
Yeah, just go on.
all the time. In fact, I created 5 personality types, and those personality types, they make one universal type. We are all that one universal type. But I divided them in 5 because we all have very specific, essential qualities in our personality. So we first do an analysis of those characteristics. And when we know that, I translate that, I made a translation to the physical aspects of clothes, of garments, because those garments, every garment in the world has a certain kind of energy. Many people will relate to the energy of colors of clothes. When you wear something red, there is a different energy, a different feeling, a different sensation than when you wear something blue. That's an example that most of people know. But you can explain that, or you can use that with not only with colors, but also with shapes, with textures, with fabrics. So I made a whole schedule of all garments that exist in color, in shape, in textures, and so on, like 7 aspects of garments. And I translated them, I linked them to the personality type, which has in its essence, one of that 5 has in its essence certain garments that fits better than other ones. I give an example. When you are, for instance, an entertainer type, In the West, I call it entertainer type. The Eastern name for that type is the fire type. She or he likes to wear, normally, the concept is, just for the moment, is for women. Later on, it will be for men too. But anyway, when you wear the color red, an entertainer type will often be attracted to the color red, to the texture leather, to the print leopard, for instance, because she feels that energy in her essence. She feels it with her clothes. So that's just one example. Now, we don't get our clothes in one type, in our essential type. We can use it with the 4 other types. We use our intentions. For instance, I am an improver type. I like to wear white, off-white, gray. I like to wear silk. I like to wear cashmere. But I have my intention of being very active, of very driven. I've got a big goal. So I like to put on lots of sporty stuff. So we start with the improver garments, but we fulfill it with more sporty things. So in the silhouette, in the texture, in blah blah blah. So that's one example. I don't want to elaborate too much about it now, but that's in fact the essence, that when you know who you are, when you know your essence, when you know one of your most dominant personality type, you can start playing with, what is my intention? Where do I want to go to? What is my goal? What is my big goal? What is my near goal? So you can play with your intentions and put those garments on. So in fact, it's like a real guideline for people to express themselves, their essence in their clothes, and express their intentions,
Yeah. So you have 5 types. Can you name the 5 types and link them also to the elements?
Yes. So in the Western name is the improver. In the East, we call it the metal type. It's the metal element that's predominant. Then we have the entertainer, and that is in the East the fire type. We have the caregiver. That's the earth type.
Mm-hmm.
We have the thinker in the West. It's in the East. It's the water type, and then we have the active in the West, and that is the wood type in the East. So, but that is not the most important thing. The thing is, what do you do with it? What is the thing behind the name? Because what's in a name, but it's important for people to have some title for a guideline. So, but we work on that to combine your essential personality type with your intentions.
Mm-hmm. And if somebody is doing that, what is then the benefit of for that person?
Well, the benefit is, in fact, when we come back to my life goal, is to find out how beauty and connection is related. Then you see that you have to start from a place of self-love, love. Everything what is beautiful, in fact, is something you love, that is around love. And when you know yourself better, you love yourself more, then you can express it to the world, and you can connect in a much more authentic and natural way. So in fact, that clothing tool is a very fun and important tool, because we all live with clothes on, and we all need clothes, and we all have frictions around clothes. So this is just an excellent tool to express or to learn to express yourself better, and to say who you are, where you want to go to, and it creates a much more natural communication.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We are now in an area where we talk a lot about mental health. Can the clothing style, can that help people
Yes,
with?
of course. That's what I'm doing for the moment. I'm implementing this approach into companies as a team building or as a workshop, just to and we know all the problems around inclusivity, and it's important now for the employees' engagement to use. In fact, I see that when I use this instrument, that it's fun for people. It's like creating a fun team building, and nevertheless, it's very important. It concerns everybody and there is much fuss around what shall we wear after in the hybrid world, after being always online and in our slippers and in comfy wear. What shall we wear when we go to the office again?
Mhm.
So everybody is busy with how he or she wants to express himself in the new normal world, in the new workplace. And this is a very, very interesting tool to use, because I see with people in those team buildings when first you just get another communication in the team itself, because people talk about, and we get to know their personality in a very positive way. So you get to know people from a different angle than you normally see them, and they found out that they can use this in the future to express themselves, to express who they are, and what they want to tell to the world, and how they want to be purposeful for how they can combine, in fact, their purpose, their own purpose, with the company's purpose. That's another aspect that I use. Is not only for employees' engagement, but also for employers' branding. How can you, to the outside world, how can you express what is the mission of the company? And when you see, for instance, I take one example. Excuse me for being very direct about it, but see, like MediaMarkt, how is the personnel of MediaMarkt? How are they dressed? What do they express, and how do they feel with the uniform that they wear? I think there could be something. There is something to be done about that uniform form.
Yeah.
Or
Do you,
take a company like IKEA. If I could do my work over there and give the people, the sales staff, give them like a beautiful active wear, like the active wear is jeans. So I would put them into jeans, into jeans outfit, but very specific, with their own base. So with their own essence. So some people they would all wear denim, but in a different way, and they would feel their own essence, and they would feel in the denim style outside for the active purpose of IKEA, because that's an active, in fact, it's an active brand when
yeah.
I analyze it.
Yeah. Do you have examples of famous people that you think like these are really people who have it rather right?
That's a good question. I think like Michelle Obama, she's quite right in what she's wearing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, she's an active type. She's yeah, with a metal with an improver goal, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And,
in general, when you have a manager in front of you, what is your advice?
a female or a male?
I think, yeah, unfortunately, still a lot of manager are male. So take
Okay.
the male manager.
Yeah, I'm not a guru, so I first do the tests. Huh? As you, as a manager, I also had you as a client
Yeah.
before, so I always do that test, and you get to know yourself better. And then we go, when it is an individual session, which I also implement, I go into the wardrobe of that person, and then we see the result of the test in combination with that existing wardrobe of the manager in this case. Is we can completely reconstruct with the existing wardrobe, because in fact your wardrobe consists of your essential personality type, but you are not aware of that, and the use is not, it's many things. When I get into the wardrobes of my clients, there are sometimes about 50% not used, even with labels on it. So people buy stuff, they keep on looking for themselves, for their essence and for their intentions, but they don't get the clue how to implement it really from a place of self-love, I think. So that's it's but you can talk about the results, because it's now about 2 years ago that we did this
Was in,
session.
it was in 2019.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I had to speak like some minutes on stage
Yeah,
on the Happiness at Work
yeah,
conference.
yeah,
Yeah, and then you visited me and my cupboard to see like what what was inside. So, and
mm-hmm.
I still follow like your small advice, your small
Mm-hmm.
tips you gave me. I try to follow it when I pick something or I buy
Mm-hmm.
something. I try to still follow
Yeah,
it. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and I know, I know it's not common, but that you do these tests for free. But for this case, could you offer some of these tests for the people in our community? Because we are, of course, promoting mental health and alignment, and nice
yeah,
energy.
yeah.
So that's one of my questions. Can some of our people in the community get one of
Yeah.
your tests to
Yeah, of
know?
course, everyone can get the small test that I first offered you before we do that session. So that's a few questions just to think about your own frictions when you go into your wardrobe. So that's a very small trigger, in fact, to find out where are your frictions and why is she asking this. So it's like an introductory paper.
Yeah.
Uh, and then maybe I can tell you that there will be a book out. I'm writing a
Okay.
book, will be launched in October, I hope, and it will be published by Erzberg, a new publisher, very a good publisher, who invited me to write a book about my approach. So that will be out in October.
Okay.
Yes, this will be for women, implementation for women, because that's the biggest part in fashion is around female clothing, of course. But I promise that after that, because many men are asking me to write it for men too. So, and I will do that in the second place.
Yeah. Okay. My coffee is nearly done. I don't know
I've
what the
got my
status of
tea.
your tea of
My
your.
tea with honey.
So I have to thank you for your time here, and
It's a pleasure.
yeah, we look forward to get the test for the people in our community, and yeah, we meet at least at the Happiness at Work conference in June. But in between, I'm sure we will meet each other somewhere when the sun is
Hope to
there.
inspire lots of people. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much,
Okay,
Jim.
Marleen, thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.